Before we get into today's video, if you're new, you like the NBA, high school, college, really if you just like basketball in general, I really think that you would like this channel. So if you are new, feel free to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, comment anything, so YouTube will recognize in his algorithm or something like that. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So again, liking, subscribing, doing things like that will help me a lot. Now, today I'm doing another redraft. I'm going to be doing the 2018 NBA redraft with my guy Grant. Grant, please say hi for the camera. Well, not camera, obviously, but
hi camera.
Camera. We don't have a camera, obviously. No, we're not at that point yet. This is an interesting draft. This is a draft that means probably a lot to Grant because this is the draft where his team got Luka Doncic. And obviously we've seen what has happened with this. We'll talk more about Luka in the video, probably relatively soon. And, follow Grant on Twitter, follow him on Instagram. You can put both of those in the link below. You can go check those out as well. Also make sure to follow my Instagram and my Twitter. I put those in the description as well as they always have been. But, so to set some ground rules, because I know this is the first time you've probably done this, it's original picks. So when we're going through the list,
Oh, really?
whatever team had that pick to begin the draft with, like before it even started, before we even knew it was going to happen, they still had that pick. So I did this for Mojo as well, and my last one was like the Timberwolves still had the 7th pick. The Bulls didn't have it because the guy that the Bulls were going to take would probably not be on the board. Now, that means for this draft, because we're only going to be doing the 14 picks, so the lottery picks, that means Atlanta still has the 3rd pick, Dallas has the 5th pick,
Shit, really?
Philly still has the 10th pick,
Why are you doing this?
Charlotte still has the 11th pick, and the Clippers still have the 12th pick. So just remember that when you're going through your list. I'm going to give you the first pick. So, where are you taking?
So it's as Phoenix. It doesn't really matter. I think you could drop this guy anywhere and he'll be great.
Yeah.
I think he's a surefire MVP future guy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Jaren Jackson Jr. probably should have gone to Phoenix. You're laughing. I'm completely 100% serious. Before the draft. Before the draft, I was for the whole. When I knew the Mavs were gonna be in the lottery, I was like, okay, we need a center badly, like a big man badly.
Yeah.
And the only one I liked Aiden a lot, but the only one I really liked was Jaren because I mean he's a low usage rate, but he can still dribble. Obviously, he's.
Wait! You're actually taking him over?
No, I am taking him over Luka. That's how I would do it today. That's how I would do it tomorrow. That's how I would have done it a year ago. So, but no.
Okay, so my whole plan was giving you the first pick because I was sure you were going to take Luka, because then I was going to take Jaren Jackson.
My whole thing was to just go through like who we would take like without teams. So I threw a wrench in your day too.
No, we had to go teams. That's kind of those things. So you're actually taking Jaren Jackson?
No, yeah, 100%. Jaren Jackson over Luka. Dude, he's got a low usage rate. He shoots 39.7 from 3. Luka will never do that. Well, he probably will, but not by the time Jaren Jackson's shooting like 42. I'm serious, and he. I think last time I checked, he shot 5.9 threes a game at 39.7%. I don't know if that is it right now, but that is insane. And he's still one of the best guards. He can switch onto guards on the perimeter, and he still protects the rim. Obviously, he's gets into a ton of foul trouble because of that. But I like he's a prototype. There's no one else like him. Kristaps is the closest thing, but it's not even close.
This is the most shocking thing in like redraft history.
Well, I had to.
This is like when like the cat. I'm not saying I actually really like Jaren Jackson Jr. a lot, but this is like the 2013 draft where like they were talking about like is it gonna be like Nerlens Noel, Alex Len, like Ben McLemore, Victor Oladipo? But it was like the 4 guys, and out of nowhere the Cavs just come out of nowhere and just take Anthony Bennett. This is just. But I like Jaren Jackson Jr. a lot. I actually was gonna take him 2nd overall.
I know you were. That's why I took him.
Yeah. So 16.9 points per game, and again, really good 3-point shooting. The one thing I do find interesting is the rebounding. He's not a good rebounder at all.
Yeah, he finds it.
4.7.
Well, I think if he goes to Phoenix, that'd be a little different. It wouldn't be much different, but he's next to Valanciunas a lot. He's also better at boxing out. He's good at boxing out. He just allows his teammates to get rebounds instead. Obviously, Morant's there too now. They had Crowder. He's not a terrible rebounder. He definitely needs to rebound more. I understand why he doesn't though, because he gets in foul trouble, so he can't be as aggressive down there as he probably should be at times. So I mean, it gets messy, but
this is crazy. I just totally did not expect that.
Yeah.
It's like
I can't lie to myself.
Yeah. Okay, so that means I'm taking Luka second overall. This
don't blame
changes everything now.
Yeah.
I'm taking Luka Doncic second overall, who I believe and I think probably is the best player in this draft.
Right now, for sure.
At least is the not probably. He is the best player in this draft. I don't know what the hell you're doing, but
I'll take it. I'll take it.
If he's I don't know. I think there's a part of me that still believes like that rumor that like he would have gone back to like Europe if the Kings drafted him. That was a rumor around draft time that like he was gonna like refuse to play.
Yeah, I remember
Kings.
that. I remember that.
Yeah.
I would have too. That's probably why they didn't take him.
Yeah, but he's almost having a triple-double this year. Takes too many unnecessary step-back threes. That's like the one thing I don't like about him. Like he'll take like he'll create space and then step back, which annoys me so much. And like it annoys me with like Anthony, because Anthony Edwards is the same thing as well. Because I've been watching a lot of his tape, where it's like they'll create enough separation to just pull up through the shot, and then they'll step back. It's just something that completely annoys the hell out of me.
Trust me, as a Mavs fan, it annoys me when Luka steps back too. Sometimes. Most times, it annoys me.
But if that's the only concern with him, like, you're doing something special. I had him as my number one prospect in this draft. I should mention this as well. I had Jaren Jackson Jr. as my number 4 prospect in this draft going in. But I had Luka number 1. I didn't have him going to Phoenix though because of the fact that you had we didn't know Luka was going to be a point guard. Like I don't think people knew that
I
he
definitely
was going to
didn't
be able to play that. But and you'll get it was either looked like he was going to be a shooting guard or a small forward.
Yeah.
They had Devin Booker. Yeah. They have Devin Booker, who's like set in stone, the shooting guard of the future and probably the franchise player. And then you look at small forward. Josh Jackson finished his rookie season off really strong, and like I don't think that it was enough for them to just give up on him. Like if he played that strong, and of course we know what's happened now. Like of course you would take Luka Doncic over not Josh Jackson, but at the time it just didn't make sense because they had so many small forwards. I think they still had T.J. Warren on the roster at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And, you had Josh Jackson, who they just picked 4th overall, like, a year ago at the time. And you had Devin Booker at shooting guard. It just didn't make sense. The 2 positions that they really needed were point guard and center. People would have rioted if they took Trae Young 1st overall. And so it really was a center. And I think Ayton was as viewed as the best center in that draft. But Luka, to get back on track with the Luka, though, Luka, I've never really seen something like this. I've seen European players come into the league, obviously, and I've seen American players come into the league. But I haven't seen a player who's either from Europe or from America who's come in and been as dominant as he's been, like, right off the jump.
No, not at all.
Like,
it's crazy.
This is like
Tyreek Evans is the closest thing I remember, but he was like,
but he was also like, it didn't like look like he was like necessarily like contributing to winning.
Yeah, they weren't winning. No, we weren't really winning last year. Well, we were until the trade deadline. But I mean, when we were super hot last year, we won like 12 or 13 or something like that. We won like that many home games in a row. We were on fire, definitely. But and since then, really, we just got really streaky. Besides when we were 20-9 at this point here. But no. I mean, it's those 2. It's those 2. Those are the top 2 picks. If you redraft today, those are the top 2 picks, and everyone else.
I would have taken Luka first, but that's just me. But it's just
It's too early to
I
tell.
think he's the highest grade I've ever given a prospect. Luka was
See,
the
I'm
highest grade.
not a big draft guy. I literally didn't start paying attention until the Mavs were like 4-17 or whatever we were. So I
think
I just
he's
fell
one
in
of my
love
three
with Jackson.
highest. I think he's one of my 3 highest rated prospects I've ever graded. I think I gave him like a 98 grade at the time, and I don't go like higher than 98 really, because I think 99 is like perfect, and there's no such thing as a perfect prospect.
He was definitely my number 2, but I thought if we got up to it, I didn't realize how much the Mavs loved him. I think at the time I was thinking the Mavs would have taken Ayton probably if they got the first pick, regardless of what was there. But looking back at it, they probably would have taken Luka 100%.
Yeah, I would take, but it's just incredible. I think him, Luka, Zion, and the guy that's going to be the 2021 class, Cade Cunningham, who's kind of like an American version of Luka, honestly. They're the 3 highest prospect grades I've probably given out as of right now, and that's a 98. But who do you have going third now?
That's interesting. So Atlanta keeps their pick.
Yeah.
I would still go with a big man, but I have a question for you. If you had to pick, Atlanta really needed a guard to go with John Collins. Obviously, they know he's going to get suspended, and let's assume they somehow get Clint Capella. Instead of Ayton, it makes more sense for them to take the best point guard in this draft besides Luka, which is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. That's who I would take there.
That was going to be my 4th pick.
Yeah, no, he's definitely. I mean, I like Colin Sexton. I think Sexton and Gilgeous are both better than Atlanta Hawks fans, and I don't care about the Atlanta Hawks fans that attack me for it because I watch every team. And Shai Gilgeous, his potential is through the roof. Through the roof. And Sexton is a more efficient scorer, I feel like. And his team has a better chance of getting him along further next year.
Let me remind you what Trae Young is doing this year before you make this pick.
No, I know. I don't care. I'm watching.
Trae Young's almost averaging 30 points per game as like a 21-year-old. And you're going to pass on him right now.
I've seen it before, and I passed on him also in Luka. I watched Luka all year go 21, 7, and 6 last year, but I'd still rather have Jaren Jackson, so I don't. I like the long defensive scores. I can't lie to myself, man. That's who I would take if I had to do today.
Alexander.
Well, that's who I would take right now. If the teams fell as they were, you're just like replacing this one pick. Like
who's your official pick?
If they don't get Clint Capella, I would think about Ayton. I would take Ayton, but I would think really strongly about Wendell Carter Jr. I wouldn't take Trae Young. If they didn't take Capella, I wouldn't take Trae Young.
Mojo's not.
So I'm not trying to knock Trae Young. I know what I see and I like what I see.
Mojo is not going to be happy about this one.
Mojo, we talked. We're cool. It's good. It's. I don't care. I don't hold bias, bro.
So
I can't take Luka number 1 overall.
You have to take one of them because
I'll take. You gotta tell me the scenario. Do they have Capella or do they not? If they don't have Capella, I'm taking.
We're going off like.
All right, then they take Ayton. They take Ayton.
You're taking Ayton then?
Yeah, but I want you and everyone else to know. I want you and everyone else to know that I would take Gilgeous right now, but only if my team had a big man.
Okay. We're going on the fact that we don't know if we're getting Clint Capella, so you're going Ayton.
Sounds good. Yeah, Ayton.
Ayton's really one of the most underrated big men in the league. One of the most underrated players in the league, in my opinion. Like any other big man that's doing what he's doing, like. He's putting up numbers that like
he did crazy stretches last year.
If he wasn't picked for Luka Doncic, we're talking about a lot differently.
Oh yeah.
Like if Luka went 1 and he went 2, you were talking about that whole situation a lot differently.
Oh yeah, definitely.
19, 12, 1.7 blocks per game. Really improved defensively this year. Still not great, but he's still really good. He's gotten a lot better. One thing I do find funny is that he doesn't take a lot of 3-pointers, even though I think he has the capability to shoot a lot of 3-pointers. He just doesn't do it. It's weird almost. it's not like Ben Simmons where he just like doesn't have he has like an inability to shoot. He has the ability to shoot them. I still think he does it.
I've seen it.
Yeah. Doesn't get to the line a lot. I think that's something he needs to improve on. I think that does have to do with the fact that he surprisingly doesn't take a lot of shots. In his rookie year, he only took 12.3 field goal attempts. This year, 15.5, which is a bit better, but I want to see that up around 18, 19 for a player of his caliber. Athletic. He's kind of like, and this is going to sound weird because I don't think he's as good as Dwight Howard, but he kind of has like the body of Dwight Howard, but like the skills of like, I don't know, like Al Jefferson.
He's got a weird he's got like a LaMarcus Aldridge finesse on offense, but he's got like the power of Dwight Howard on offense. Yeah, he's definitely nowhere near Dwight on defense, but I don't think
anyone is. I don't even think the best defensive big in the league, Rudy Gobert, maybe not best.
He's the closest thing. I mean, he probably would have gotten his third defensive player of the year. Yeah, no, not to what Dwight was doing back then. No.
Well,
that team was perfect for Dwight to excel on in that role, though.
Personally, though, like, and this may sound controversial because like the numbers don't completely back it up, but if you ask me for like the next 10 years, who would you rather have as a defensive anchor between Rudy Gobert and Bam Adebayo? I'm probably taking Bam Adebayo because Bam Adebayo.
Well, for the next 10 years, yeah.
Because Bam Adebayo can defend the perimeter.
Definitely,
and Rudy Gobert. Listen, we've all probably seen the Houston versus Utah series. They were exploiting the hell out of that because they knew we couldn't defend. So like they would put like guys who like could shoot, and like once you take them out of the paint, he just wasn't as effective. You can't do that with Bam. But this isn't about Bam. This is about the 2018 draft.
Yes.
But I like Ayton a lot. I wouldn't have taken him over Trey. I think Trey is an interesting player, and Trey's going to fall now because I'm not going to take Trey fourth overall because Mike Conley's still there. But let's probably get into who I would.
Oh yeah, Mike Conley's still there.
Yeah, I guess I should get into who I'm going to take fourth to the Grizzlies. And this is tough now. So to review first three picks, Jaren Jackson Jr. surprised in the draft. Luka Doncic. DeAndre Ayton, and with the fourth pick, I'm gonna go with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And you might think, well, you didn't take Trae Young because you said Mike Conley's still there, and they Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Shai Gilgeous can play shooting guard. So.
He can play small forward if you wanted.
Yeah, I know. He can play 1 through 3.
He can play power forward for the Mavs.
Yeah, he is one of the most fun players to watch.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I can't believe he fell under the radar.
He plays at this very slow, controlled pace that totally shouldn't work. You shouldn't be able to play at that slow of a pace this young, but it works for him. I said that he's a seamless player. You can put him in any system, and like he wouldn't like get in the way of others, but he can still like do his thing. Good rebounder, efficient player, like a super efficient player. For his age, has around 56.6 true shooting percentage for this season. Has only one distance where he shoots on the field. Like out of all the places in all the distances he shoots from, only one distance he shoots from is below 40%, and that's his 3-point field goal percentage, which is at 35.1, which is still league average. But 0 to 3 is 61.4%, 3 to 10 is 40.8%, 10 to 16 is 51.2%, and 16 to 3-point line is 49.2%, which is incredible for a player this young to just be efficient from all over the field. Not field. That's a different sport. Different on the court. I think he's going to be a lot better than a lot of people do. I think he has like all-NBA kind of potential. Like I think he could be a 25-point per game scorer in this league. Like a 25, like 5 and 6 guy. I just really like him a lot. I know you were considering taking him 3rd overall.
If he falls to the Mavs at 5th, I'm taking him, definitely. I don't care what big man's there.
I'm taking him. I'm taking him fourth. So.
No, yeah, I know. I'm just saying if you did take Trae Young, Shai Gilgeous would have taken the Mavs to the playoffs 2 years in a row with Dennis Smith as a sidekick. It would have been nice.
I feel like there's an alternate universe where Dennis Smith Jr. and Luka Doncic are like the greatest duo of all time already.
Well, if
did you play 2K17?
Of course.
Yeah. Did you play My Career?
No, I usually just stick with my league. I mean, I play like a season or two, but I never like get too deep into it because it's pretty boring.
Do you know the storyline for 2K17's My Career with Michael B. Jordan?
The Michael B. Jordan one. What happens? Yeah. Is that the Vic one?
So like he's like your sidekick. So he's like your sidekick coach.
Oh, he's your sidekick in the. Oh, you're like Orange Juice, right? That's your nickname.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
That I feel like they were gonna be that. In like, cause like you always dominating as a rookie. Cause like everyone like basically averages like 60 points a game in My Career because they just put the game on.
Yeah,
so
you could
like,
take over the two guys, and one. He was always a guard, so he could always just like if you picked a big man, you could always like move around with the guard because it was so easy to unlock him. But no, if you.
So I feel like if you were a small forward or a shooting guard, like he would be like Dennis Smith Jr. and Luka Doncic would be that. Because like you always win the championship your first year.
Yes, but had this draft fallen, can I move on to the 5th pick?
Yeah.
Okay, had this draft fallen how we're talking right now, and the Mavs have the 5th pick right now, I think we would probably take Wendell Carter Jr. So there's an alternate universe that you're talking about. Because I mean that's who I would take. I would look at Sexton, I would look at Bamba, I would look at Young. And my heart wants Bamba because I know that if he comes here, he's not in Orlando and in the worst player development system in the league.
Yeah.
So I know he would be in good hands at least, and he would at least be healthy if he were here. So I would look at Bamba really hard, but I think I would end up taking Wendell Carter Jr. because he was definitely more of a sure thing coming out, and his defense ability is what we've been lacking forever. So. I would take him, but there's an alternate universe where Dennis Smith, Wes Matthews, J.J. Barea, Harrison Barnes, and Wendell Carter Jr. is the starting 5, and I'm pulling my hair out, and Rick is also pulling his hair out, so it's a good thing we ended up with KP and Luka.
So, to recap, because let's talk about Wendell Carter a little bit, though, because I think he's really good. I don't think he's as good as Bulls fans think he is. Like, Bulls fans are talking about him like he could be like the 3rd best player in the contender. I think he'd be like the 4th or 5th. I don't think top 3. Like, and the people are comparing him like Al Horford. I'm like, you can't say that he could be one of the 3 best players in the contender then compare him.
at one certain time, Al Horford could have been considered.
I think at one point you could, but like, like, I know like he was like the best player in that 61 Hawks team. And he was the best player on that
second
best
best
team.
Kyle Korver.
Oh yeah. Damn it. You're a funny man, aren't you? But and he was the best player on that Celtics team that went to the Eastern Conference Finals without Kyrie. But I think that's more circumstantial than it is like his true ability, because like that you I think Wall didn't like when they faced the Wizards in the second round that year they won 60 games. I believe John Wall got injured or something. I'm pretty sure he got injured like halfway through that series.
I don't remember him getting injured.
It looked like at one point, I remember Washington was gonna win that series because like Pierce had that crazy buzzer beater.
Yeah.
And it looked like they had momentum.
They did. I feel like
they don't win. I feel like the Hawks don't win that series if John Wall doesn't get hurt. So I think that was a fluke year. Celtics is a fluky year as well, in my opinion. First round we got the Bucks. That series won 7 games. But this was like Giannis before, like this was like all-star Giannis. This isn't like best player in the league Giannis. And then we got lucky facing a super young Philly team that really didn't have playoff experience in the second round. And of course we saw what happened in the Eastern Conference Finals. I think we could have won that series because at 3 points in Game 7 it looked like we were going to win that game. But I still think it's a bit fluky because like we faced 3 teams that were like two of them were like young playoff teams, and then one was a sort of a fluky Cavs team that we probably could have beaten, but It's
No.
LeBron. We could have been Cleveland at you, but it's LeBron. What are you gonna do about that?
LeBron and Kyrie, yeah.
Yeah. But Kyrie wasn't on SG. Kyrie was on the Celtics.
Oh, you're talking about 2018 or 2017? 2018. Yeah.
We weren't gonna win 2017. 2017. I'm surprised we got a game in that series. But
Wait, who's we?
I say we as I say in like my team.
Okay, I didn't know if you're going off like who we're drafting or what. But then I remember we were talking about Wendell Carter.
What number are we on? 6?
The Mavs just drafted 5th, so you're on 6, yeah.
So we got off track a little bit. That's funny. Let's talk about the 6th pick. Let's actually review the picks I've gone. First went Jaren Jackson Jr. to Phoenix. Second, Luka Doncic to Sacramento. Third, DeAndre into Atlanta. Fourth, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to Memphis. Fifth, Wendell Carter Jr. to Dallas. Yeah. And 6th overall, I think he's fallen far enough now. I'm taking Trae Young, who I actually had going in this spot in the original draft. So he goes off the board. I had him number 2 on my board for this draft. He surprisingly falls all the way to 6. I think it was a dream fit with him in Orlando because like they didn't have anybody. Like Aaron Gordon, Willie's mid. Let's be real with ourselves.
I'm telling Mavs Draft you said that.
What?
I'm telling Mavs Draft you said that.
What? Aaron Gordon's mid?
Yeah, I'm telling you said that. Specifically, you said.
He hasn't improved.
Oh, trust me, buddy. I know all about power. I know all about power forwards not improving over here in Dallas, my man. And you got it good. So just be thankful for what you have.
Aaron Gordon. Listen, granted, 85% of Aaron Gordon's lack of development is probably on the Magic. But
yeah, it's like blaming a player for playing for the Knicks. Especially a forward, or I'm gonna be quiet before I get in trouble with someone. But
what was it, Kevin Knox?
No.
He's not going in the streets, right? He better not be.
I don't have him.
I don't have him on my board either. But to talk about Trae Young to Orlando, I actually had him going 6th overall.
Yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be fun.
It would because
still have like 17 wins or whatever, but it'd be fun.
It'd be fun. Yeah, it'd be really fun. Because they don't have a point guard, so like.
Oh yeah. I mean, DJ Augustine
like Mo Bamba,
is a mad
like,
assassin. Yeah.
He's gonna be stuck behind Vucevic. No, Mo Bamba's stuck behind Vucevic, so like, yeah, we don't have to worry about that anymore.
I would have ran Mo Bamba at point guard, but that's just.
You can't in 2K. He's like the most overpowered. We'll talk about Mo Bamba later. So he'll come up again. But the Trae Young. I just felt like they needed a franchise-level player, or a guy that can give them hope. I think Trae Young could be that guy. I'm not as high on him as other people are. And this is going to sound controversial. This is just my opinion, obviously. I think the gap, because I do think he's better than De'Aaron Fox, but I don't think the gap between them is as big as people think. I think De'Aaron Fox is actually
Trae Young is better than De'Aaron Fox?
I think he is. Well, think about it. Like, listen, if you're averaging almost 30 points a game, I don't care how bad your team is. Like, it's still 30 points and almost 10 assists.
All right, sure, but here, let me just give you. I don't want to talk about that too much.
With you though.
So I think Trae Young he's free to do whatever he pleases. De'Aaron Fox is literally micromanaged to no end. So, even though he might have a better roster, I don't really think he does, but he might have a better roster at some point. I don't think that's true. I think Fox is better.
I think
it's close. It's close though. But
I do think it's a lot closer than a lot of people do. Regardless, here's my problem with Trae Young, and it's a massive problem to me. Only 16.1% of his 2-point field goals are assisted on. Only 29.8% of his 3-pointers are assisted on. That is the definition of high usage, if I've ever seen it.
Yeah,
in my life.
That's what I'm saying. He's free to do anything he wants. I mean,
I do think
the team is not bad though.
There's a proper way to build around him because, like, listen, like if you can handle the ball and you can shoot, you can play off ball. Like if you can shoot, you can play off ball.
Yeah.
And I think once they get a guy that can kind of take the load off him a little bit, like, and can be a secondary like creator, maybe a guy like an Anthony Edwards, like someone like that. I think his assisted field goal percentages will go up a lot. But I don't think that he's naturally a 30-10 guy on a true contender. I think his peak value is, maybe a like a 25-7 guy on a contender. I think that's his peak value. But I really do, feel like, it's surprising he fell this far. I would have taken him third to Atlanta, but it is what it is. This is how the board falls for us. With, two people who are probably completely different big boards. But this is what I saw happening in real life. Honestly, him going to Atlanta. 'Cause there was no talk about him going top 5. Really.
Like, I don't remember that at all. Yeah. That's why it was so shocking to me. Like, it's cool that he had the years he did, but yeah, I didn't see him going top 5 at all.
Well, it's funny though, because like I didn't think anyone saw this like coming at all, because like his success, because he was like the 23rd ranked high school player coming out, which is still really high compared to like how many kids play high school basketball a year. But like when you're 23, like you're expected to stay for a few years. You're not expected to be a one done, let alone do what he was able to do at Oklahoma. Like lead the league in points and assists as a freshman, getting his team to the tournament, where he really was like the only option on that team. And I think that was like whoa. And I am going 6th. I didn't see him as a top 5 guy. I actually, surprisingly, and this may sound shocking, I had Shea ahead of him. I had Shea Gilgeous-Alexander ahead of him on my big board at the time of the draft. Then again, I was on like the Shea Gilgeous like hype train since like he was committed to Florida. And this was because Shea was originally committed to play at Florida, but he decommitted and then committed to Kentucky. I've been on the train that long, but I think he's a fun player to watch. It's not like he's like, because his high usage is very similar to like what Russell Westbrook is, but it's a lot more fun to watch than it is to watch Russell Westbrook, because like the handles, like the nutmegs and all that stuff, it's all fun to watch, but it isn't. Again, I just think that the stats aren't suggesting his peak value right now. But I do think his peak value is like an all-star, all-NBA kind of player. But who do you have as your 7th pick, which is held by the Chicago Bulls?
The Bulls. That's what I was gonna ask you. That's tough. So,
do you want me to review the...
No, I mean you can, but I know who's taken. I'm just kind of torn right now between Mo Bamba, Mitch Robinson, Marvin Bagley. I'm kind of torn between a few of those guys. I wouldn't really know, but assuming that they don't know that Kobe White is coming next year, I would probably go with Colin Sexton here. I would definitely go with Colin Sexton there, I believe. I really would consider Bagley, Robinson, and Mo Bamba, but I would definitely end up taking Sexton there. Just because that would give, Zach LaVine so much to work with at the time. I don't know who else would be on the Bulls at the time, and maybe Larry would get some shots. It would suck to see, like Mo Bamba with Boylan. I don't think he would hold up. He can't even hold up in Orlando. So I think Sexton would probably be one of the only players to like survive in Chicago, in a sense.
I think it might be true, but Colin Sexton, depending, well, not even really. I was gonna say depending on who you talk to, but he's really underrated. Like, I don't think he's ever gonna be an All-NBA player, but I do think there's a chance to make a few All-Star teams.
Definitely, yeah. I don't see him making an All-NBA team, but he could definitely make up.
I think he's gonna be like who made All-Star teams but didn't make All-NBA teams. but like that's hard to think of. Like, I think he's gonna have a career like Jerry Stackhouse did, where it's like he'll put up some good numbers, make a few All-Star teams, but really it really didn't contribute to anything much. Kind of like that kind of career.
I don't. I think he'll be the second best point guard to ever play for Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yeah, behind Mark Price. But I think he's more of a shooting guard though than a point guard.
Yeah, I think he will be eventually. But I mean, as far as handling the ball and scoring goes, I think he's up there with the best.
Yeah, but I'm surprised. Like that's why I didn't understand Darius Garland pick, because like they're both small they're both small guards. That's just not gonna work in the modern NBA.
And like at the time, I understand. I love the Cavs. They're one of my favorite teams to watch. Yeah, I watched them a lot on League Pass last year. They're the only like really bad team I liked watching last year, especially when they got Drummond. Even though they only played like 5 games. Kevin Porter Jr., Darius Garland, and Sexton. That is a trio to watch. I know Garland didn't really perform as well as he should have this year, and Sexton didn't really get it going till the end of December. But the Andre Drummond trade is huge for them. I mean, a lot of people don't know that he can shoot threes, and he shot like 42% or something like that, in like only like 1.9 attempts, but he still shot them, and it's going to be interesting, that trio. I love the Cavs a lot. I think that I'm definitely the president of the Colin Sexton, or not the Colin Sexton, but the Kevin Porter Jr. fan club. I could easily become the Colin Sexton president as well.
Oh my God. I think you see the look on my face right now. I think
it's going to be great.
You were confused.
I think it's going to be great. I think there's a legit conversation between him and Trae Young. I don't care.
I'm trying to think of like the most clickbaity title for this video. Like,
whatever you have to do, man.
Like, is Colin Sexton better than Trae Young?
He is.
Question mark, exclamation point.
What about Jared and Luka? But no,
Jaren Jackson better than Luka Doncic in all caps. Question mark, exclamation point, like 30 times.
Should the Mavs have taken Jaren Jackson over Luka?
Because like it's so funny. This is just so different from the last one with Mojo. It was like Mojo. It was very straightforward. Like
yeah,
it wasn't because like we both kind of think similarly, and we kind of have similar opinions about players and things like that.
I mean,
we're on the big board.
We have pretty similar opinions, and you're very intelligent, obviously. But I'm a pretty crazy guy, so I've been known to be out there a time or two. So I'm not.
You didn't call him Sexton.
Yeah.
I kind of became a fan of him like ever since he hit that buzzer beater in the SEC tournament.
See, I don't even know what you're talking about.
So they needed to win this game to make March Madness that year, and there's like 3 seconds left. He takes the ball, goes all the way down the court in 3 seconds, mind you, jumps from the free throw line and hits like this floater layup.
And from Alabama, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It was one of the craziest things I've ever seen. I'm like, he can play in the NBA.
So I remember like I knew he wouldn't make it to the Mavs pick. I knew he'd be gone before then. But one thing I do remember about him,
dude, he went 8th.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
The Mavs picked 5th.
Yeah, I know.
And he went 8th.
I didn't think, I didn't think he would fall. I thought we were for sure taking Mo Bamba. Like that was what I went into that day thinking, and then we made that trade for Luka at like 11. But I forgot what I was gonna say. So
I don't know how Dennis Smith and Colin Sexton would work though, because and again another just too small guard lineup.
Rick Carlisle, I've seen run about. I've seen him run 4 point guards at a time, so I know he would probably love it. I would love it, but I would still be really mad whenever Dwight Powell like missed a wide open layup or tripped on his own feet. So I don't know.
Oh God,
I would want a big man on the Mavs.
I do.
But yeah,
I just
I would
saw
definitely
something
take
funny
Sexton
on Twitter. Yeah, I just saw something funny on Twitter. So on Twitter I posted. Someone commented on my Chicago Bulls video. They said Laurie Markkanen has an All-NBA ceiling, which I just don't think is true. I think he's gonna be he can be a starter on a good team. What?
It's hard to tell. I don't know about All NBA. I don't think he provides enough. I don't think he's good enough overall. Like he's not a good enough defender. I feel like to make All NBA. But you don't really have to be a good defender. But he's not good enough on offense.
I just don't think he's that good.
He would have to turn it around and score like 25, 26 points a game with like 8 or 9 boards for me to even consider him on that level. And I
just don't think because like. The numbers he's putting up on bad teams are good, okay? Like they don't to be like, but like, so where is that? I mean, but he's getting it because like his team's bad, obviously. And like those guys getting injured and things like that, so he gets more opportunity.
And I think
what is his value? I think he's like he's a 15 to 17 point per game guy on a true contender. I don't think he's an All NBA guy. I think he's a starter on a contender, but. Again, we're talking about a lot of guys that just own in this draft.
Well, it makes sense because we're talking about Sexton to the Bulls, and I think if Sexton goes to the Bulls, then he has a lot more scoring opportunity than with Wendell Carter there. So
I think he's better than Colin Sexton is miles better than Kobe White. I'm not high on Kobe White at all.
Kobe White is one of my favorite guys.
I don't think Kobe White's gonna. Dude, I have the Bulls taking a point guard in the upcoming in this 2020 draft because I still
crazy. I mean, I think if they can get LaMelo, then you go with LaMelo. But
no, I haven't taken Tyrese Halliburton.
The only guy I only pay attention to their Mavs fall, and I've been told I've only fallen in love this draft with Puguchevsky from Serbia. That's the only guy I want in the whole draft. I don't care what happens. If the Mavs take him, I will drink 3 bottles of wine in one sitting. I would go nuts if we get that guy. But from what I've seen, like if I had the first pick, I would take LaMelo. I know now we're definitely way off subject though.
Yeah, we're way up. No, but to get back to the LaMelo thing, I said I would go to the Sen start laughing meme where his head's leaning back and he's kind of screaming. I kind of said that. And someone said his ceiling might be higher than that.
I mean, I think he's gonna be really good, but I think he would be a decent fit if he went first to Chicago.
I think again, I think he is going to be good, and I think being able to be a starter that can contribute and have a high impact on a contender is really good. But it doesn't mean you're all NBA. That's just all I got.
Oh yeah, no.
I don't think Zach LaVine is all NBA.
No, not at all.
No.
Maybe in his very, very, very best year, and like the Bulls are legit. Like, oh, the Bulls are a threat in the East. Maybe, but he's not even close to that right now.
That's my problem with the Bulls. They don't have a guy that can be the best player on a contender. Like, I was looking at a team like there's no one on that roster.
Well, they drafted Sexton and used it.
2021. Like, there's like 4 guys in 2000. There's 4 or 5 guys in 2020 in the 2021 draft that I believe would be the first overall pick in this year's draft. And these kids are still in high school, mind you. So if they were able to come straight out of high school, these guys would be like the first pick. Like, that's so. But Bulls fans, they just would rather, they're just content with being, the Joe Johnson Hawks. That's basically what they're content being. Where are we now? Oh, the 8th pick.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. The Cavs. I haven't taken, and I thought he was actually gonna go earlier but I guess again this is just the way the board works. I haven't taken Marvin Bagley.
Yeah.
I think he gets a lot of crap for being the guy drafted ahead of Luka, even though I do believe that there were legitimate concerns about if Luka would even play for the Kings. So I think they kind of would just rather have a guy that would be able to play for them.
Yeah.
I like him a lot. I liked him a lot coming out of high school. I thought he was the best prospect coming out of high school that year. Super athletic and just does things that he should not be able to do at that size. I saw him take the ball coast to coast once and do a Euro step. Like, guys who are 6'11", 240 that aren't named Giannis Antetokounmpo aren't supposed to be able to do that. Like, that's special stuff. And he's the best rebounding prospect I've ever evaluated. Well, not evaluated, looked at. I'm not that serious with my draft stuff, obviously. But I do feel like, his relentless motive will keep him in the league forever. The only thing that will end his career is injuries, in my opinion. Because at worst, he's an energy guy that comes off the bench, grabs rebounds, plays some solid defense, and can contribute some points. And I think that teams want that. Like, teams would love to have that off the bench. That's his storyline. I think his ceiling's like Kevin Garnett kind of player. I think he could be that.
I think it's a little high, but he could definitely be he could definitely be that way on offense for sure. Just kind of.
I don't think defense. Defense, like Kevin Garnett's one of the greatest defenders of all time.
Yeah. But on offense, he definitely could do some finesse stuff like that. I can see it.
I think he could be, and I think the one thing though about Kevin Garnett though was he's an underrated passer. Like, people don't talk about the fact that he was averaging like.
He's a pretty underrated shooter too. I know they weren't shooting him at volume like they do now, but he could shoot it.
He could shoot, but he was more of a mid-range guy than a three-point guy, obviously. I think Bagley has potential to be a good three-point shooter. He has a good shooting for him. Like you can't just leave him open, because if you leave him open, he's gonna shoot it. Like, so he's not afraid to shoot, obviously. Again, really good rebounder as well. Her 36, 10.8 rebounds and 10.5 rebounds over his first 2 years. I think the only thing that will hold him back is injuries. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
Because I think he's so talented.
He would definitely. I feel like if we had
I think like people talk about like this draft like, I can't believe they took Bagley over Luka. I'm like, I don't think about it like that. I think of more of like, DeAndre Ayton, Marvin Bagley III, Luka Doncic, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Trae Young. That could be like one of the best, if not the best, top 5 in NBA draft history if it all pans out. And based off the way they're playing already. Like, Marvin Bagley III is still averaging 14 points and 7 rebounds in under, 26 minutes a night, which is really impressive. I think he's going to be in the league for a long time because of that. I do think he has all-NBA kind of potential, which, sounds crazy because... And yes, that means I do think he has a higher ceiling than Lauri Markkanen as well. But
I would take Bagley over Markkanen in that sense.
I think Rusty Buckets would take.
Like you said,
Rusty Buckets said he would take Marvin Bagley over Lauri Markkanen.
Yeah.
Or at least that. If he says that, I think that's a good indicator.
It's like you said, man. I think he's played 55 games or something. He hasn't played.
He's played 75
games. But I mean, over 2 years, even with the shortened season this season, he was a non-factor this season.
He only played 13 games this year.
Yeah.
Which is absurd to me. But I really think he fits really well next to Fox as well.
I think he fits well. He needs to get out there. He would obviously be way higher up there if he, played at least half of what he should.
If it wasn't for injuries, I would have taken him 4th to Memphis. I would have had him going 4th to Memphis easily. But because of the injuries, he kind of falls a little bit because
we just haven't seen it in all these other guys.
The best
plenty of minutes to prove that they're better.
The best ability is availability or something like that.
Yeah, of course. Who's the 9th pick?
9th pick is the next. Let's talk about Kevin Knox while we're here because he's not getting drafted, obviously, in this redraft. He sucks. That's all I gotta say. What do you guys say about him?
He's definitely not in my top 18, but he's not. Yeah.
He sucks. Yeah.
But only because
I didn't like the pick. I did not like it when they made that pick because, I thought Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was the best prospect on Kentucky that year by a long shot. I think I had Kevin Knox going 15, like the Wizards or something. But I remember he had one good summer.
He was very up and down around that time.
Yeah. It was all over the place. There were some people thinking he was a top 5 pick. Other people didn't even have him going in the lottery. He had one good summer league game, and everyone thought he was going to win Rookie of the Year. I remember that. You can go check out Rusty Bucket's video on why he believes that Kevin Knox would be the Rookie of the Year. But who do you have going now?
So, my heart says that the Knicks should just stay the course and actually just take Robinson. But but I feel like if they were given this pick and the situation had been different and they believed in themselves a little more, they probably would have taken Michael Porter Jr. But that's who I would have taken at least. I was definitely looking hard at Robinson and Graham, and Mo Bamba's still out there, but I would probably go with Mitch Robinson here. Who are you?
You're staying course. I don't know. This draft's actually full of guys that are just unrated. NBA fans.
I thought really hard about Devontae Graham. Like he would have gone nuts in New York, but they probably wouldn't have played him. So who knows?
Yeah, but he would take away from Frank Ntilikina's development.
I mean, the Knicks are already doing a good enough job of taking away Frank Ntilikina's development, so I don't see what that would do.
Yeah, but it also did take Devontae Graham. We'll talk about Devontae Graham later.
Yeah.
But I do feel like Mitchell Robinson's the best pick. Like, if it isn't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking.
I remember around draft time,
I was so mad we didn't take him.
There was a rumor going around that the Lakers made a promise that they were going to take Mitchell Robinson like 25th overall.
Well, thank goodness that did not come true.
Oh God, could you imagine?
I don't want to imagine.
A front court, having to try to score in a front court of Anthony Davis, because they still probably get Anthony Davis.
Oh, definitely. They might have to trade him, I guess.
And you know, because they wouldn't even have to trade Mitchell Robinson.
Maybe.
But could you imagine trying to score on Anthony Davis and Mitchell Robinson?
I don't want to. I've done it plenty of times in 2K. That's how I've won the map several championships, taking those two guys.
But yeah, I like a great shot blocker. He should be getting more minutes than he does, by the way. And, of course, he's the greatest player to wear number 23 on a big market team ever. Can't think of anyone else, can you?
Josh Reeves plays for the Mavs. Wes Matthews.
There's that Bulls guy, but I don't know. I think that Bulls guy's a bit overrated, but...
I don't know who you're talking about.
Yeah, who's that Bulls guy?
Oh, the one with the TV show? Oh, yeah, that was so old, it felt like I was watching the History Channel. I couldn't keep up. I was falling asleep.
Yeah. Let's move on to the 10th pick, though. I have the Philadelphia 76ers. I have them going with Devontae Graham.
Yeah, that'd be lights out for them. That'd be really sick.
Yeah, because you can just... Because, hey, it took him a year to develop anyway. He really didn't play his rookie year that much. And then he played a lot his second year. But I think you keep him off the bench. What happened with Markelle Fultz. I'm still mad about that, by the way. About what they did to Markelle.
I'm
so mad.
They didn't do anything to Markelle. They freed Markelle. They screwed themselves, man. That was
but like the way they handled that whole situation, like...
Yeah, bro, I could go on another 45 minutes about Elton Brand and Steve Colangelo.
Yeah, but like, they should have handled that better. Like, they should have done more to protect him from the media, and they should have, the medical staff should have been better. Like, they should have noticed that it was a pinched nerve injury. Like, it was like a serious nerve shoulder injury. So, I think they should have noticed that. Like, hey, that's probably why he can't shoot a basketball right now. It isn't in his head; it's in his shoulder. But that pisses me off. That's besides the point. He's.
I mean, the big thing for that is they traded him for Jonathan Simmons, who's not in the league right now. That's the problem.
They lost both Fultz trades, which is depressing when you think about it.
I mean, like I said, man, I could go on I could go on a 45 to an hour and a half long video about Elton Brand and Steve Colangelo and Sam Hinkie, or Jerry Colangelo.
Let's keep it about Devontae, though.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Devontae.
He would be perfect in that role, especially.
Oh no, because he would just come off the bench.
Yeah, as a rookie, yeah.
He would just come off the bench and just shoot a bunch of 3-pointers, and it would be awesome.
That's what they needed at the time, and at the time they still have Sarge and Covington, correct?
Yeah.
So.
They don't make the Butler trade. I think did they? Oh no, yeah, this is before.
They made the Butler trade. I think 21 games in for them.
Yeah, but 18-7 this year. His stats really reflect someone that's more of a sixth man than a starter. Because like he doesn't shoot well from the field. He shoots 38% from the field. Does shoot 37% from 3 on 9 attempts, which is pretty good.
That's very
good. I would say.
It was way higher in the beginning.
It reminds me a lot of a certain player who's also in the staff that maybe we'll talk about later. And whose 3-point numbers are better than his like regular numbers. I think it'd be perfect to come off the bench for them. I remember in 2019 I wanted them to get Carson Edwards because I thought he would play the role that I think Devontae Graham would play for them. But of course they got Matisse Thybulle that year, which I think they're a lot happier with.
I certainly would be, but
yeah. And they probably still would be able to get Matisse Thybulle next year. So if you're going in with a core of like Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, Devontae Graham, and what's his name? Matisse Thybulle, I think it's a good young core. They originally took Mikal Bridges, who I actually considered them taking again, and just not trading the Finks. I also thought he would be a good fit for them as well. Just play defense and shoot 3-pointers.
Yes, sir.
That's any team could use that, really. You know, he probably will go in this redraft as well. But you know, I think Devontae Graham, easy candidate for most improved player. You really go from a guy that wasn't playing a lot and was like really bad to like one of the best 3-point shooters in the league. Who does that? But I do think he needs to improve his overall efficiency. But in Philly, I think as a 6th man, like you don't have to worry about that. That's your job. Okay, let's look at Jamal Crawford, like an efficient guy that gives you like 15 to 20 points per game off the bench. Like that's the job of the 6th man. Like the only like efficient 6th man I ever think is like Kevin McHale. I've ever seen is like Kevin McHale.
So who has the next pick? I don't.
Charlotte.
So ooh.
Yeah.
That is interesting.
There was a part of me that wanted them to like get Devontae Graham again.
I think Charlotte obviously is in a best available mindset, even though I don't think they really did it this draft. But if you, I would take best available here and definitely take Mo Bamba because I thought Mo Bamba was going to be a top 5 pick, and I still believe he has crazy potential. It's just really hard to judge a guy playing for the Magic, especially a young guy he's literally like the most raw prospect that we've seen in a very long time. And for him to go to the Magic is just absolutely tragic. I know that rhymed, but it wasn't supposed to. But he definitely should not have gone down to Orlando. I think his career would have been a lot better off. But that's who I would take if I were.
I think Mo Bamba would be the perfect student and the perfect guy to be mentored by Cody Zeller. So that would be fun.
I mean,
Mo Bamba is a player that's really interesting in the fact that doesn't get a lot of minutes. Does not get a lot of minutes at all. Despite, you know, a team spending a top 6 draft pick on him, you would hope you would want to give that guy a chance. Hasn't really gotten a chance. Averages 15 minutes per game for his career and 1.4 blocks per game in those 15 minutes, which is for those who don't know, really good. That's 3.3 blocks per game per 36 minutes, which is really good. High foul rate though, does average 4.8 fouls per game per 36.
Yeah.
I actually thought there was a chance that Atlanta might take him at 3, because I think the thought was he was going to go 3 or 4. You know, obviously that didn't happen. I think there was a report that like, he refused to work out for Memphis because he really didn't want to go.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that report.
Yeah.
It's hilarious to think about because they got the better player. They're probably like, all right.
I would have. I think. You know, he was so fun to watch at Texas, and you know there was a lot of hype. It was just so fun to watch like him play because he was so popular because of the song and everything. That was basically his name by his friend.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but it was just so fun, and I still think he's a really good player. Like I think if any other team had that 6th pick and they took him, he'd be fine. But
oh yeah, if we would have ended up
I think
taking
at
him,
worst he's a guy that like I think his floor right now It's sort of like that Daniel Tice kind of player who's really more fit for a bench role, but is obviously the starting center of the Boston Celtics. Daniel Tice is underrated in my opinion, but you know, this is a guy that kind of just plays in the pick and roll, grabs rebounds, you know, catches lobs, runs the rim. I think that's his floor. I think his ceiling is like Rudy Gobert still. I still think he has that Rudy Gobert kind of ceiling. Rudy Gobert with more offensive tools.
Yeah, exactly.
With a deeper bag.
Yeah, definitely a deeper bag.
Yeah.
Great way
That's
to put
the most
it.
important part.
Yeah, definitely. That's
Mo
why I was in love with him.
Yeah. So 12 is the Clippers, right?
Yeah. Which they took Shea.
No, they didn't take Shea. They
did some trades.
They traded the pick for Shea, which I think they're gonna regret that. By the way, not taking Shea. I think the Hornets are gonna regret taking Shea and then trading him, because I just think, you know, Miles Bridges is cool. I think he's gonna be a solid player. I don't have him going with my 12th pick, obviously, but I think he's a solid player. But I don't think he's even gonna be close to how good Shea is gonna be. And they're not even close right now. But with the 12th pick, the original took Miles Bridges, traded him to Charlotte. Obviously, they're picking for themselves now. I'm going to go with a bit of surprise. I don't know. I don't think people know that he was in this draft. I'm going to go with Kendrick Nunn.
Okay. All right. Dropping the bombshell.
Off-field, off-the-court problems aside, because this is a basketball channel, this isn't Law and Order. You know, he was really good this year. My guy, Nick Swiss, was obviously frustrated with him a little bit, because every time I would go on Twitter when the Heat were playing, all I would see was Nick Swiss tweeting about, you know, how we wanted to kill Kendrick Nunn because he was doing something stupid on the court. But if you look at the numbers, like 15.6 points a game, 2.7 rebounds a game, 3.4 assists per game, shot 44.8% from the field, 36.5% from 3 on 5.8 attempts, which is really good. Not really good, but it's pretty above average. It's acceptable. 83.7% from the line. Doesn't get to the line a lot. Only gets to the line 1.5 times a game. A real surprise. You know, he kind of just came out of nowhere. Like, who the hell is Kendrick Nunn?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely played us too.
Yeah. So, but again, he is technically in this draft because he did declare for this draft, so he is on the board. I'm going 12 for the Clippers. I don't think he's as good as Shea, but I think he could play the Shea Gilgeous-Alexander kind of role of, you know, the guy. Shea average, like, I want to say, like 10, 3, and 3 as a rookie. I think Kendrick Nunn could do the same. If he's doing like 15, 3, and 3 on a playoff team in Miami, I think he could easily do that on the Clippers as well. He probably would have, because I still think that they would make the move to get Paul George because, you know, they want to get Kawhi. He probably gets it moved in that trade for Paul George. Don't you think?
For who exactly?
Kendrick Nunn would still get moved in the Paul George trade, wouldn't he? Because Shea was moved.
I would assume, yeah.
Yeah, probably. So he's probably going up on the
Thunder, which would be even. That would be nutty. I would like that a lot for them.
Yeah. So
but I don't know. I mean, if the trade stays, or if the other teams don't make trades,
I think they would still make the trade because the whole reason they made that trade was to get Kawhi. Like, that trade isn't based on, like, circumstances of draft picks. Because if they still have a young guy that's putting up solid numbers, you know, I still think they could move him alongside Danilo Gallinari and, like, a lot of draft picks. I don't think people realize the risk they're taking with how many draft picks they traded to get Paul George. But, Kendrick Nunn goes off the board at 12 to the Clippers. And, you know, well, sets the 13th pick, which is your pick, the Clippers.
Oh, that's right.
Have the third. So who do you have the Clippers taking at 13?
Well, shit.
Here's the Kendrick Nunn. So.
No. Oh, my heart says Houtier, or however you pronounce it. But I think they would probably end up taking Mikal Bridges. But I'm gonna go with Houtier just because that's what I want. I really like Red Velvet a lot.
Yeah. So Kevin
Hooter. Okay.
Hooter. Whoever. The guy they said was going to be Klay Thompson, which I don't think is necessarily true.
He could dribble a little better than Klay,
Yeah.
but he's nowhere near the defender. Like, not even close.
12.2 points a game, 4.1 rebounds a game, 3.8 assists per game this past year. 41% from the field, 38% from 3 on 6 attempts, which is really good. 82% from the free throw line. Doesn't get to the line a lot. I think he was underrated this year for the Hawks. I think people were more worried about being mad and trashing on Cam Reddish than they were focusing on the actual other young players.
Definitely.
Feel so bad for Cam Reddish, by the way.
Who had an outstanding second half of the year. If any Hawks fans are mad at me for calling Trae Young, overrated.
Yeah, but I know. But to talk about, because I do want to talk about this, because this always pisses me off. Cam Reddish was the first of the big three to go to Duke. So he was the first of those three to commit. He committed long before Zion and OJ did. So he's probably going to Duke thinking, I'm going to be like Brandon Ingram and Jason Tatum, where I'm going to be the star wing that gets my draft stock up and I go top 3. And then OJ comes along. It's like, okay. It still wouldn't affect him much. And then Zion comes along, and all of a sudden, Cam Reddish goes from the focal point and the prize of Duke's recruiting class to the third best player in that class for them. Like, the third option. Like, could you imagine how that must feel? Like, you enter that, when you commit, you think you're going to be the man, and all of a sudden, you're in the corner, barely getting the ball. But that's besides the point. Kevin Huerter's really good. I think he's going to be in the league for a long time because I think anyone that can shoot 3-pointers will be in this league for a long time.
Yep. And like I said, he can do more than shoot threes. He's definitely got more, like some dribble moves. He could play a small ball 3. I wouldn't really want him to. He's not very reliable on defense, but he's definitely not. He's definitely not a negative on defense like some other teammates. I'm not gonna name.
Yeah. This will begin with a T and an E.
I won't tell you what his name is, but I'll tell you that he looks like a lollipop with hair on it.
Yeah, it's Trae. Yeah, that's Trae. Yeah. But who do I have? So 14. Let's go over some names that are still on the board. Michael Porter Jr., Duncan Robinson.
I took Michael Porter Jr. With the Knicks pick.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I thought you took Mitchell Robinson.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. Sorry.
Okay, so Michael Porter Jr. is still on the board. Duncan Robinson, Landry Shamet, Jalen Brunson, Anthony Simons, Bruce Brown Jr., Lonnie Walker is still on the board. My guy Robert Time Lord Williams.
Shake Milton.
Sig Milton. Right? Did I say Landry Shamet?
No. Maybe you did, but I don't have him on my list even.
Because I really want to talk about this guy a lot. I'm gonna take Duncan Robinson 14th overall.
It's not bad. Who has the pick?
Duncan Robinson is the most unique player.
That's Denver's pick, right?
That's Nuggets pick, yeah.
That would be.
He is one of the most unique players I have, ever seen. He is the definition of a 3-point specialist.
For sure.
He takes 9.4 field goal attempts a game, okay? This year, he takes, again, 9.4 field goal attempts this year. 8.4 of those field goal attempts are 3-pointers. He only takes 1.1 2-point field goal attempts a game. To put that into perspective, okay, he takes 88.6% of his 3-point shots. He only takes 11.4% of his 2. It's absurd. It's just you don't expect to see this. You know what I mean?
No, definitely. I didn't.
No.
I didn't expect.
It's just, and it's not like he isn't efficient. He's shooting 44.8% from 3. It's absurd. You know, you just don't see that every day.
Even
just gonna go.
Even had Duncan Robinson played as well as he has been, I still probably would take Michael Porter if I were the Knicks. If he fell this far, I feel like he wouldn't have fallen this far in a redraft.
Not the Knicks, the Nuggets.
Or yeah, Nuggets. Sorry, I
don't know about Michael Porter Jr. because I don't think they'd play him. They aren't playing him right now.
Well, that's because they are one of the better player development teams, and they know how to do this with this kind of guy.
Duncan Robinson would get a chance to play early though.
That's true. That's true. He could have been really solid.
I think if Michael Porter Jr. was playing early, he didn't have to deal with the back. Hey, if he didn't deal with the back injuries, he's going top 3.
Probably.
In real life, if he didn't deal with those injuries, he probably would actually be the number 1 pick.
I don't know. In real life, because of how skewed it was, maybe. But I still don't think he was a top 5 player.
No, I don't think, because he was the second best player behind Marvin Bagley coming out of high school. But Michael Porter Jr. was number 1 on everyone's board before he suffered that injury. He was, at that time, the best scoring prospect to come out of high school since Kevin Durant. And I didn't compare him to Kevin Durant. I always thought he was more Paul George than he was Kevin Durant. But
I can see he's more force to the basket than Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant's more finesse. Back you down, stand you up, and then post you up.
Do Kevin Durant stuff.
And then just lights out from 3, which I'm shocked at how well Michael Porter's been able to adapt his 3-point game. I thought that would be the one thing that he wouldn't get, but again, Denver's so great with developing players. I'm sure they were really focused on making sure he was good.
But I do think that Duncan Robinson would get minutes for this team right away.
I agree, but I think it's probably better than
Nikola Jokic throwing
man,
that just gives Nikola Jokic all these weapons. Jamal Murray can shoot. Gary Harris.
Yeah, but Robinson can really shoot.
Duncan Robinson is the definition of a shooter.
We need Duncan Robinson.
Jeremy Grant, and then on the fast break, he has options. It's he can throw an alley-oop to Jeremy Grant. He can kick it out to Duncan Robinson and Jamal Murray for 3. Paul Millsap can shoot a little bit as well. So that would be scary to watch. And I think that Miami, that's just Miami doing Miami. Because the fact that they were able to get Kendrick Dunn and Duncan Robinson in the same undrafted free agency pool, that's kind of insane.
That's Miami. That is Miami.
They're so
good. Like I said, the Nuggets are one of the better player development teams in the league. Miami's right up there with them. They're probably the best because that's 2 really good examples. And Tyler Hero has been able to develop the way he has, and Bam, of course. If Luka doesn't win Most Improved, it should be Bam. But I think Luka probably has it in the back.
Oh, I think Bam's gonna win it.
I think Bam deserves it
because you expect a second-year player to improve. You don't and I think we all kind of saw this coming from Luka, in a way. We kind of knew he was going to take that jump in year 2. But, we didn't expect this out of Bam. I think we all thought he could make a jump to being, a 10 and 9 guy. We didn't think All-Star.
I wanted Bam, again, I'm obsessed with big men who play defense. I wanted Bam more than I wanted Dennis Smith Jr., which is who I wanted more than anyone in 2017. So, or either looking back on it, it would have been between Bam or Mitchell for the Mavs at 8 that year. But
9.
Yeah, but obviously neither of them would have fallen.
Oh yeah, but I do think that Duncan Robinson would be really fun on that Alexei Jokic. I think if we're talking about pure talent, you probably would take Michael Porter Jr. But if it was based on pure talent, Michael Porter Jr. is going a lot earlier than not being drafted in the top 14. But you know, I mean that. Well, let's talk about that, Mike, because I do want to talk about some guys that didn't get picked. Obviously, we'll start with Michael Porter Jr. The fall was surprising, the 14 for him.
Oh yeah, I think I was definitely shocked.
Even I had him go.
If I know who you are in a draft class,
yeah.
then and I know that you fall, then you fell. Like it's substantial because I don't follow it until I know where the Mavs are, and I don't follow it until I really need to follow it way after the NCAA tournament's over usually.
So the thing was, there was a rumor going around, I think around the time the lottery ended. So we knew what teams were picking, obviously. There was a rumor going around that the Kings were heavily considering taking Michael Porter Jr. at number 2. I think it would have been a risk, a giant risk, but I think it might have been a risk worth it because of the type of talent I think Michael Porter Jr. can be.
For sure. I mean, and look at who they took at number 2.
It was a very loose rumor though, because I still think they would brought back Bruce Morris's thing, and Luka's definitely Morris's thing. So it was just a rumor, but it still was like, okay, there's a possibility this guy could still go super high in the draft. I thought that Memphis would have maybe taken a swing on him, because I think a lot of the problems with Memphis and why they had the 4th pick really had to do with injuries. And I think that if they all were healthy that year, they would have been a playoff team. So like, I think they would have been a team willing to take a risk on Michael Porter Jr.
Yeah, definitely.
I thought
they would have also.
This is before the Dallas. This is before the whole Luka trade, obviously. I thought maybe Dallas would give him a look, take a risk on him. Obviously they didn't. They traded up. It's okay. And then I thought for sure Orlando would take him. Okay. I'm like, okay, Orlando's gonna take him. Nope, he doesn't go to Orlando. Orlando really could have used him as well.
Definitely.
Because I think Orlando
was
a
little repetitive, but compared to Aaron Gordon, but he's still has a higher ceiling to me.
Well, he's a small forward though. He can play small forward.
Yeah.
But it's funny though because I would have had, I think the Magic had like the 4th best odds for the 2017 draft, and I had them taking Jason Tatum. This is before the Markelle Fultz trade as well. So like Boston held the 1st pick. Boston was still projected to get the 1st pick that year. And this is before the lottery. I had my mock draft. I had the Magic taking Jason Tatum, and I thought, okay, they didn't get Jason Tatum. They got Jonathan Isaac, who's also really good at the whole basketball thing.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. So I thought maybe they could just take Michael Porter Jr. this year, and he could be like what you thought we could get out of Jason Tatum. It didn't. They went Mo Bamba. I don't think they expected Mo Bamba to be on the board at that point.
Definitely not.
So I think they kind of took the swing on him, and of course they've ruined him up to this point. And then I thought the Bulls would take him. Bulls fans were in a frenzy on Twitter when Michael Porter Jr. was still on the board. I remember seeing what Rusty Buckets was tweeting about. This is before I even knew. This is before he like blew up. Obviously, he still had almost 10,000 subscribers around this time, and I didn't even know him. I knew of him, but he was like in a frenzy. Oh my God, Michael Porter Jr. is still on the board. They go Wendell Carter Jr. All these Bulls fans are mad as hell about it. I didn't think that he would fall past 8 to Cleveland. I thought Cleveland would take a risk on him because they knew LeBron was probably leaving, and I think at this point in the draft he had the most potential. Like he had superstar potential in my eyes. So I thought they would take him. They didn't take him. I'm like, okay, the Knicks. I really thought the Knicks were going to take him at that point. Did you?
You're talking about Michael Porter Jr.?
Yeah.
That's what I said. I definitely thought, like, when I was making that pick, I said I think the Knicks would probably take Michael Porter Jr., but I would stay with Mitchell Robinson. Is my explanation. I definitely agree with that.
I thought the Knicks were going to take him. At that point, I thought the Knicks were going to take him. Superstar potential.
I thought, every team, like, once he got to a certain point, I was like, hey, this team's going to take him, and then they didn't. And then I was like, oh, the Hornets, they're going to take him for sure. The Clippers didn't take him.
This is the one time Knicks fans were right about something. They were saying, we
Yeah,
want
but
Porter.
I would.
And then they took Kevin Knox.
Yeah, they picked Kevin Knox. I wouldn't say they were.
Who reeks. Who absolutely reeks. And then I thought the Philadelphia 76ers were going to take him at 10.
Yeah, I thought every team was going to take
they
him
are
at this
going to
point.
take him.
I was shocked he
Okay,
fell.
and then I think 11. I'm like, okay, 11. It was what? The Hornets. They didn't take him. They took Shea, and then traded him to the Clippers. But I'm like, okay. I thought the Hornets would be a good spot for him because again, they're another team that could take a risk on a guy like that. They probably were gonna suck the next year anyway. And then okay, they didn't take him either. And then I didn't think the Clippers were gonna take him at that point. I'm like, okay, the Clippers are probably gonna take him because they made the trade. I was really shocked they took Jerome Robinson at 13. I did not see that one coming.
Yeah, definitely not.
As a kid who's from Massachusetts, who's gone to BC games and things like that, I saw Jerome Robinson play. The guy was as Bleacher Report would say, a bucket. It was really good. I just didn't think it was like a lottery pick, and obviously it hasn't panned out. But I didn't think. I thought they were gonna go. Miles Bridges and then go Lonnie Walker. But we'll talk about Lonnie Walker as well. So he doesn't go, and then like there's a chance that he falls out of the lottery, and people were talking about like the chance of him like falling all the way to like 30 to Golden State.
Oh,
Which he fell, if he fell all the way to 30 to Golden State, like they would just have to cancel the season.
Well, I don't know. He probably wouldn't have played.
Could you imagine like the dynasty ends and like, all of a sudden they're just rebuilding with like Michael Porter Jr. and like Anthony Edwards?
I'll believe it next year when they have Giannis.
Yeah. Oh my God, that would be good.
Yeah, no.
Okay, I say
Dallas is gonna
I
sign
want to
him.
cancel the season because like Golden State isn't as good as they once were anymore. They aren't the dominant force. But if Giannis goes to the Lakers, like I think they need to cancel the season.
I mean, they're already trying to
There's
cancel
no
the
way
season.
you're being a team with Giannis, LeBron, and Anthony Davis on it.
Imagine if
Like, how you gonna stop
Kawhi would have
them?
gotten traded for Brandon Ingram and Lonzo Ball, and Anthony Davis just signed this summer with them.
I think Kawhi would have left.
I don't think Kawhi would have left. I think he
I think
wanted.
Kawhi-
I think he was
Kawhi-
going to LA until
I never
the
understood the
Clippers.
idea of him going to the Lakers though. He always seemed like the kind of guy that who kind of silently liked the idea of being the main guy.
I mean, sure, but had the Clippers not said, "Yeah, we can get you Paul George," I think he would have considered strongly about going to team up with LA and LeBron with Anthony Davis. Because why would you not?
Oh no, I think if he wasn't going to the Clippers, I think he was resigning with the Raptors.
I don't know, man.
I don't think
I don't
so.
know, man. I don't think so at all.
Yeah. I think he was going to the Raptors. I think he was.
Maybe a one-year
I
deal,
just
but I
don't
don't think he
it's
sends
in,
long
I just don't
term.
think I don't think it's in Kawhi to make a super team. He doesn't seem like the super team kind of guy.
I mean, he
I
went to
think
the
like having
Clippers.
one All-Star next to him, but I don't think he's like it's in him to be like the third fiddle on a contender. Like I still think that's him.
I
Like
disagree.
there's still a part of me.
I think he's the greatest basketball player of all time. So
Oh wow. Man, there's so many things I can use that for clickbait and for tags as well.
let me take the heat. I stand by everything I say. I don't care. I'm usually never wrong. I'll die on my Jaren Jackson Hill. I'll die on my Andre Drummond Hill. I'll die on my Kawhi Hill.
Who's some other guys that were on the board that we went? Anthony Simons is another one I liked a lot.
It's alright. I definitely like Brunson a lot, and I wish he would have been able to play in Orlando had he wanted to. I definitely like him a lot.
Yeah,
Jalen Brunson.
yeah I do as well.
I probably
I was
would,
surprised he didn't. I'm really shocked he didn't go in the first round.
I was shocked Phoenix didn't take him with the first overall pick in the second round. Like once he got where he did.
I thought they might take him 16th overall, but then you know what happened with the whole Mikal Bridges Rosario
Yeah.
trade. But I like Jalen Brunson a lot. I think I like out of all the players on Villanova's roster that year, like that really good championship roster, it was like Mikal Bridges, who I thought was the best like NBA prospect on that team, and you have what was his name? Dante DiVincenzo, Jalen Brunson, or Murray Spellman. Out of those four guys, if you ask me, who's the one to fall out of the first round? You wouldn't say Jalen Brunson, because Jalen Brunson was like the National Player of the Year that year. So it was a bit shocking that he fell out of the first round.
I'm definitely happy we took him, but I would not have been upset at all if we got Devontae Graham. I would have been ecstatic if we got Robinson. But we probably would have ended up trading one of those guys to the Knicks for KP, which I would have done 10 times over. So.
You had Mikal Bridges going what, 13th?
I think he was my last pick. Yeah.
Oh yeah, so you went 13th. Okay, so I don't know when I'm making the graphics. So I want to talk about Anthony Simons because he's an interesting player to me. He didn't go to college at all. He kind of skipped the year. I think he took a post-grad year and went straight to the draft. Still in 27th overall. 24th. My bad. But I really like him. I think he would have been a lottery pick had he gone to college. And I think the fact that he wasn't a lottery pick after taking them, and he was still a first-round pick after a post-grad year and not playing any college at all, really goes to show the kind of talent he has. I had him going 16 to Phoenix. That was just me, though. I think that he has a lot of potential to be something like a 15-point-per-game scorer for a long time in this league. Who else is there to talk about? Landry Shamet. What are your thoughts on him?
I like him a lot. He absolutely torched us this year. I don't know if it was this past year or the year before. I can't remember if he was a Clipper or he was a Sixer yet, but he lit us up at one point. I remember. I think he was on the Clippers. Is he on the Clippers this year?
Yeah.
Yeah, he absolutely. Oh yeah, that's right. It was the Kawhi game where he got like the block and then stole it and dunked all over Luka at the other end. Yeah, no, Shamet went nuts against us.
I like Shamet.
He had like 4 or 5 threes in that game.
I like Shamet a lot, but here's the problem with Shamet. It's the defense.
Yeah, if he's not shooting, he's like Seth Curry. If he's not shooting 6, 7 threes a game, he's worthless on the court. I feel like.
Oh yeah. You should have seen this. You watched the Celtics vs Clippers game like right before All-Star Weekend, right? It went to like double OT. And they were playing whoever offense on Landry Shamet. Like they were doing everything they could to get some blitzes on him. Kemba Walker hit him with like this mean step back, and they were just bullying Landry Shamet. It was like when the Clippers were doing the Lou Williams. Where it was like they were just exploiting the matchup. They were doing the same thing to Landry Shamet. It was really painful. Like Jason Tatum was cooking him. Jaylen Brown was cooking him. Well, Jaylen Brown cooks everyone. But Kemba Walker, again, that massive step back. Like he hit him with like one. If Kemba Walker didn't have the best step back in the game right now, I would say that it was the best step back I've ever seen, but there's like 80 other step backs that Kemba Walker's done that are better. Like the one he did at UConn. But, I think I like him. He's a good three-point shooter, but the defense is so bad.
Yeah, definitely.
He's like the opposite of Frank Ntilikina. Like,
definitely. Well, I also saw Frank Ntilikina light us up from 3 once too this year, so.
That's really sad to hear.
That's a Mavs rhetoric though. It's just about anyone who can't shoot threes walks on the AAC and puts it all out on the table for sure.
Oh, so he's like the Celtics mid-tier, like not necessarily an all-star but kind of good players that Tour sets, like Chris Middleton, Caris LeVert, like guys like Chris Middleton plays against like plays like Michael Jordan against us.
Yeah, definitely.
Like,
well, the Mavs have a lot of those guys. DJ Augustine's one of them, but he always is on a different team every year. Used to be Ish Smith.
it's like Andrew Wiggins against the Thunder. Like Andrew Wiggins plays like
big man.
Andrew
basically.
Wiggins lives up to his potential against the Thunder.
And
only the Thunder.
Before Maxey and KP really solidified things down low, any big man would walk into the AAC and either dish it out to the guy that's wide open on the perimeter because we don't play defense there, or he would just dunk it because we don't play defense down low either. So.
Yeah. But
Ish Smith.
That's another. This is like.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, who else is there? I'm watching like a one-word play. This is like at 1 minute 30.
Josh
At 1
Okogie.
minute, 1 hour.
I love me some Josh Okogie. I can't believe that I didn't end up taking him because I think obviously he's an older dude. He doesn't have the highest ceiling. I still think he's a starting player on that Wolves team tomorrow though. Like if they play tomorrow, I think he's still a starting player there.
Yeah, who's someone I wanted to talk about? He wasn't good at all, but
I haven't looked at the draft board in a minute. I remember Kostas was the last pick.
Oh yeah, Kostas was. That was more of a name pick in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean we took him.
That was definitely a pick about the name more than anything.
Let's see, Grayson Allen,
There's
Chandler
actually
Hutchinson,
a couple guys I like in the second round, like Sevi Mikhailuk,
Robert Williams, Javon Carter. I can't believe he doesn't get as much PT as he should. Bruce Brown.
Yeah, he was on my board at like 17.
Anthony Melton, DeAnthony Melton, obviously.
This is a guy I'm really interested in, Jared Vanderbilt. I think he has like potential to be a Lamar Odom kind of player. This doesn't get the play time because he plays in Denver, obviously. Denver doesn't like playing new young players. Like they didn't. I think like, ever since like the Moutier thing, like they gave a lot of minutes to Moutier. Okay, and they were like, we don't want to go through that again. None of you young guys are getting minutes again, because they didn't really give Jamal Murray a lot of play time his rookie year. I remember that. They didn't give Michael Porter Jr. a lot of playtime his rookie year, and they haven't given a lot of playtime to Jared Vanderbilt, who I think is really good. I think he has a decent amount of potential. I was kind of surprised he went as low as he did. The GOAT, Isaac Bonga, went in this draft.
Of course. Went to Phoenix.
Went to Philly. I think I mentioned Sevi Mikhailuk, the kid, like that guy that went to the Lakers. He's on the Pistons now.
Oh yes, of course.
People have no idea how to pronounce his last name, and it pisses me off.
I did not until you said it just then.
Yeah, it's like Mikael. It's why I sound. It's Mikhailuk. Like listen to the announcers at Kansas. Like they were saying Mikhailuk. The coolest name in this draft by far, of course, is Ray Spalding.
Yeah, we took him too. I wanted him to play for us a lot, but obviously he didn't.
Like, it's kind of sad that his name was Ray Spalding and he really didn't do much in the NBA. Zaire Smith was in this draft class. I thought he was overrated. I did not see the Zaire Smith hype. I thought he was.
Well, as a Texas Tech dropout, I can tell you that you're wrong. And I wish we traded for Zaire Smith.
He's only played 13 games because of injuries.
Yeah, but he'd still fit well here.
So speaking of Texas Tech, what are your thoughts on Jared Culver's free throw percentage? 40.6.
I love Jared Culver. Jared Culver is my ideal shooting guard, small forward, going forward in the future NBA. So I'm really happy that he's in a place where I think they're going to be able to really make some noise and develop him properly. But I don't like his percentages this year very much. But I know that from what I heard from Wolves fans, is he really once it kind of was established that Covington was going to get traded, he really stepped up, and that's something I really like to hear. And I think if they do keep Malik Beasley, and they continue to raise Josh Okogie around him. I mean, a lineup of D'Angelo Russell, Josh Okogie, Jared Culver. Who am I missing? Oh, Malik Beasley and Karl Anthony Towns is that those five guys that offense could make a lot of noise, especially if Cat comes out next year shooting 10 threes a game on 40 whatever percent again.
Wow. So this just in, Tyler Johnson is signed with the Nets in free agents. I kind of forgot he was still around. But who are the guys? Aaron Holiday was in this draft.
Yeah, I was looking at him too. Great player, but I mean, we were talking about doing the top 15, so I didn't really think he was there.
Grayson Allen was in this draft.
Yep.
A player that everyone hates, but I like for some weird reason.
Oh yeah, we know.
I understand why people don't like him. He trips people. He's kind of a dirty player, but he was also a really good player at Duke. So
it's right up your alley.
He was Troy Brown, he went 15th in this draft. Actually, I was actually considering him for that 14th pick. Averaged almost like 10 points, up 45% from the field, 4.5% from 3. He's solid, I guess. It's a really good draft class. Like the first 5 picks, I think, are all all-star potential kind of guys. Like Luka has MVP potential. Jaren Jackson Jr. has Defensive Player of the Year potential. DeAndre Ayton could be a 25-10 big man in this league for a long time. Marvin Bagley III has like KG's offensive kind of potential in my opinion. Trae Young in my opinion, can be an All-NBA level point guard. And then you get other guys. Mo Bamba has a lot of potential. It's just he's just not going to be able to reach it in Orlando. Wendell Carter Jr. has proven he's probably the staple big man for the Bulls for like the next 10 years at least.
Hope so.
Colin Sexton I think he's gonna be a 20-point big game scorer for a long time. Kevin Knox sucks.
Yep.
Yeah, he sucks. Like I didn't like the pick at the time. I understood why they booed him at the time. Because he had a Fortnite thing under his seat.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I think that was the moment I'm like, oh, this guy's not going to be good.
Right whenever he lifted that jacket. Right when he lifted that jacket, James Dolan went, oh, fuck.
Man, like the moment I saw he did that, I'm like, oh, God, no one can, like, I swear, this guy goes in the lottery. He better be the last one in the green room. Dante DiVincenzo's in this draft class. He's always on all defensive teams in 2K. It was a bit surprising that he was the second player from Villanova to go off the board. I thought Jalen Brunson was going to be. Who else was in there? Amari Spellman, who they said was going to be, what did they say? Oh, they said he was going to be the Draymond Green because they said, Trae Young's to Steph Curry, Kevin Huerter's to Klay Thompson in the draft because they're going to try and rebuild like the Warriors did. And it said Amari Spellman was going to be the Draymond Green, and ironically, they traded Amari Spellman to the Warriors afterwards. So that was kind of funny. And then it's just a draft with the guys that I think this when we're looking back at draft classes 20, 30 years from now, we're going to be talking about this specific draft as one of the best.
Definitely,
I think there's a chance we talk about this draft class like we talk about the 2003 draft class.
Definitely. At least
1984. I think if it works out, because it is though, they're still all in year 2, so it's early. Anything can happen. But based off of where a lot of these guys' careers are going right now, this looks like it's going to be an all-timer. Like, people are going to be hyping up draft classes in 2025 as this is going to be the best draft class since 2018. So I really like this draft class a lot. And do you want to give your final statement?
Jaren Jackson will be the greatest basketball player of all time. Luka will be the second or third greatest Maverick of all time. And Trey Young is not as good as Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Let's see, do I have to shout anybody out? Oh yeah, if y'all want, you can check out the mffls.com website, where we host a podcast called the Hoops and Heaven Horizons podcast. You don't have to listen though, but I would greatly appreciate it if you did. And you can follow me on Twitter if you want, at Greasy Randy too. Anything else about this draft? I don't think so, but
I don't think so.
I had a lot of fun, so next time you want to do anything, definitely let me know. And I'll try not to, my NASCAR schedule with everything getting rained out threw me off a lot. That's my excuse for why it took us so long to do this, and I apologize.
So, yeah, if you go follow all those things, I'll put everything in the link in descriptions below. As of right now, it's almost 1 o'clock in the morning where I am.
Oh, yikes.
So, yeah. But it was really fun doing this. I will put this in the playlist so you can go check out this. So, once you finish this, I know based off my YouTube statistics that you probably won't make it to the end of this video. But if you did, you can watch this one, and once you're done watching this one, if you want to spend like another hour watching something else, you can go watch my 2017 redraft, which I did with Mojo. Like, subscribe, do all those things. I have a playlist also for my what's next for series. I'm doing that for all 30 NBA teams. Maybe you'll see Grant on that as well for the Mavericks. But yeah, that's all I really gotta say, and have a wonderful day. Now you can stop recording.
Alright, bet.